going on? I'm Jade Green from the Black Creatures, and it is time for another Thirsty Thursday. Thirsty Thursday is a moment that occurs weekly where Xavier and I get to talk about the things that have got us parched. So this week I want to talk to you about Lucy Parsons. There's a lot of conflict and confusion surrounding her origins, much like several black people who were born in the 1800s, because I don't need to say it, do I? What we do know is around 1853, Lucy Parsons was born on a plantation. We know later on she was freed, and she went on to become a very influential black organizer who fought for fairness in labor, economics, race, gender, and a lot more. She moved from Texas to Chicago with her white husband, who was also about that action, and they went on to become involved with a radical Republican organization for some time until the Workers' Party showed up in their lives and they decided that was where they wanted to be. If that joint about Republicanism surprises you, I highly encourage you go watch this video about the origins of Democrats. I am not encouraging you to think any one thing. I'm just encouraging you to get started researching these things. In 1877, the United Snakes saw its first general strike. And this general strike took place during a time of major workers' unrest and unprecedented economic recession. And Lucy Parsons had a major role in making that happen. But once the strike started to die down, the Workers' Party became fractured. Through the cracks created by contradictions and unrest within the group, the Socialist Labor Party sprung forth. Parsons wrote for their paper, The Socialists. She also took on leadership positions and fought for the fair treatment of women in the workplace, as well as the betterment of the treatment of all workers. Her husband was hanged in 1886 following the Haymarket riots. Did you know that white people even lynch their own when they stand to threaten white supremacy? Defending black life? Really makes you think, right? Eventually, Parsons' work in the Socialist Labor Party became unfulfilling and contradictory and unmilitant, and so at this point she decided it was time to take her leave. In 1892, she published her first issue of Freedom, a publication aimed to having conversations about overthrowing capitalism, about armed black resistance to racial violence, and about mutual aid tactics for black communities. By 1905, Lucy Parsons had contributed directly to the founding of the Industrial Workers of the World, or the IWW. Under this organization, she continued to fight for the rights of the houseless, the unemployed, and the incarcerated. Lucy Parsons fought for all captive lives. In later years, she became an active member of the Communist Party, and just a couple years later, she died an untimely, fiery death in a house fire. Immediately after confirming her death, the Chicago Police Department confiscated her library of over 1,500 books, 1,500 pieces of radical literature. Now, I'm not encouraging you to join any organizations. I'm not encouraging any type of behavior except for research. Posting a video talking about the things that I care about every other week is a form of self-discipline for me, so if you have suggestions on what I should be covering while I train my brain to follow through with things, ADD, depression, anxiety, let me know. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon.